town, and he won't be able to make it. So we're going to go ahead with the drawing for the candidates. So we might as well start. I don't know if Jeff could even make it here. What we're going to do is we're going to have the drawing, and the candidates would be sitting 1, 2, 3, from right to left, okay? And the timing is very critical. So every candidates need to be respectful to each other, the moderator and the voting public. Each candidate will get a 2-minute opening statement. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to respond to questions by the moderator. Each candidate will be given 1 minute for closing. A 10-second warning will be given to wrap up your response when your time is expiring. Once your time is expired, you must stop, otherwise, there are penalties, and most of you have that. Okay? So the candidates will step over to the side here, and Steve Shimkus is the co-coordinator. The Sauk Village Fun Club took over the candidates form over 25 years ago. The American Legion were the originators of the candidates forum. I have been doing it for over 20 years. My predecessor with the Sauk Village Fun Club had moved out of town. So we hope that this year we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Instead of asking one question for all the candidates, we have separated the questions to the hopefuls and for the seating trustees. So that's how we're going to do it. We're not asking pointed questions by individual names. So are we ready? Okay. So number 1, 2, and so forth. From right to left. You have your own seat, huh? Yep. I have no idea why Kevin Jones is not here, but we'll continue. Okay, so we're going to start with the opening statement. That's number 1. No, we start 1, 2, 3, this way. No, I said from right to left. Sorry. Okay, we'll start with the opening statement, and you are going to be told about a 10-second warning as this. Okay.
Okay, my name is Terry Holcomb, and I'm a candidate for trustee for Sauk Village. My main objective is not dwell on the past or the present, but what we can do to move forward. Working with all the trustees and the mayor, and try to make a cohesive board. I feel we need to be a bit more transparent with what's happening, and I would be available at any time for any resident. That's pretty much.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank all of you for coming out this evening to hear what we have to say. Hopefully it'll be interesting. I like to think that Mr. Holcomb, like his statement, he said he's not going to dwell on the past. I think I'm going to be in that slot because I think we have to understand the past and mistakes we may have made so that we don't repeat them and we can move forward. So I may talk about the past a lot, because I think we have to learn from those lessons, unless we're going to make the same mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is John Austin. I'm a trustee our candidate for trustee for a 4-year term. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Fun Club for sponsoring this and for all of you who showed up here today. I've been a member of this village for over 37 years. I'm married. I have 3 children who grew up in this town and went through all the school systems and that. I worked at the post office for 37 years. I'm now retired. And then I took on the challenge of being a trustee and running Parks and Recs, which is a challenge. When I took over as Parks and Recs, there was no programs running and the community center was shut. In the last 2.5 years where I've been trustee, we've reopened the community center. We've restarted some of the programs, such as the basketball program, the corn and dog roast. 10 seconds already. I hope it's 2 minutes. Okay, corn and dog roast, and we started several new programs, the summer basketball program, and we're working on starting the baseball program. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Derek Burgess. I am a trustee in the village. I've been a trustee since 2006. I moved out here in 1982 to a community that I really respected. It was a diverse community. This is where I wanted to raise my family. I have 4 children, 13 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. I am retired now, just enjoying retirement, but I am very passionate about the village. I first got involved in the village in 1982 when I first moved out here, involved in the school district of St. James. I was the finance chairman of that board. And from then on, it just springboarded down into what I am right now, because this is what I believe in. This village is what I'm passionate about. I was in charge at one time of Parks and Recs when I first came on board. After that, I became in charge of economic development. Now I have Intergovernmental Relations Committee. And as you can see, I've served this village very, very well, and I really hope that you continue to support me in serving this village. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll start with the first question. As we said, we do it. First one would be, the next one would be Cecil Tate. Do you want to read the question, Steve?
As a candidate, tell us about your qualifications to represent and serve Sauk Village, and how would you apply those as a trustee?
I think I'm not going to belabor my qualifications of what I've done in Sauk Village. I have a bio that's on the table with all the other candidates, and I think take time, pick one up and read that. As far as what's appropriate that I can apply, my training both in the military and the service was in planning and operations. I'm good at planning. I've had years of planning experience. I think the implementation of plans is vitally important. So I've had that whole realm of beginning to end. And I think that's what we do in Sauk Village. We follow things through. We start a lot of things, but none of them go all the way through. And so I think I'm people are following through from A to B. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have all of you answer the question. So John, you're next.
I'll repeat the question. As a candidate, tell us about your qualifications to represent and serve Sauk Village, and how would you apply those as a trustee?
Okay, my qualifications, well, obviously I've already been a trustee for 2.5 years. I've been postmaster for the United States Postal Service for 37 years, and I've been involved in many things in the Sauk Village, including I was on ESDA for several years. I sat on committees for housing, sat on committees for Parks and Recs. I've sat on a couple other committees, and all this shows the kind of leadership I have. And as Parks and Recs, especially, I've started several programs including the Halloween trip and trunk. I've also done brought the Easter egg hunt back. I've brought basketball back. We're working on baseball. We're looking at doing doing several new things this summer. We've had a couple summer school programs where we had things going over the summer for the kids. So I plan to keep this up, and I think this shows my current leadership. Thank you.
Derek, that's a good question. As a candidate, tell us about your qualifications to represent and serve Sauk Village and how you would apply those as a trustee.
Yes, thank you. As I stated in my opening statement, I have been involved in the community since 1982. I've been a trustee since 2006. My qualifications that I have, I bring integrity, I bring honesty, I bring vision, and I've always have since I've been a trustee to try to work with those that would like to work and try to move this village forward. What expertise do I have? Being a trustee, knowing how and what government and how government works, and how to apply that to our particular situation that we have. And I've networked with many municipalities. I've been involved in many programs that were part of the village and programs that I helped bring. I was on the committee when we got WinPack, which is the the industrial park factory that's over there in DP Partners. So that's it, right? Okay.
Derek, did you need your question in?
Start off with, as Mr. Tate, I did 24 years of military service, but I really don't look at that because I've been retired for 25 years. I am fully retired. I did 18 years downtown in upper management security, and I am the present housing commissioner, and I'm on several other committees, and I've been a volunteer from day one. I think what I can bring to the village is I work daily with other towns, the state, the county, and I think that my expertise in doing some of the stuff that we've accomplished, that I can enhance some of that more so as a trustee.
Some of our questions seem sort of difficult, so what we're going to do, instead of giving you 1 minute response time, we're going to give you 2 on response time. Okay? The next one would be John Hoskins. If you disagree with the current village policy, how would you go to getting a change?
Okay, as I understand policies, most policies are set by their committees. We're talking those kind of policies are set by the committees. They have the responsibility to bring those policies forward. They vote on those, the committee brings them forward, they bring it to the board for board approval. That's the process for changing a policy to the best of my knowledge, and I will continue to do that. As Parks and Recs, we have policy and contract for running the village here, for the building, for the community center. So we have that policy in place. It's been in place for long before I became trustee. There were other trustees that set that policy. And since I've been a trustee, I have followed those policies to the letter. We haven't had any changes in them. So I wanted to we are looking into make some have been questioned. But as of right now, I would continue to follow that policy, any policy that the village sets forth, and I know the process will take a while. Thank you.
Okay, as far as policy is concerned, I've been involved in setting several different policies. The way to go about changing the policy is you get together with your trustees and your mayor, you get your board together, you discuss the problem, you bring it up, and then you go and either have a resolution or you have an amendment. And that's how you would actually change the policy. You would be, everyone would be involved in making that decision, and then after that we would write it up and then we would vote on it. That's the way that you would change policy that's already set in place in the village.
As far as the policies go, there is policies in place. I don't think they're reviewed enough by the Department they need to know what their policies are. You go to a lot of departments, they don't even understand there's a policy set forth for them. And I think the policies should be open and more available for residents to get, and for the department heads and the trustees and the mayor to understand what the policies are.
I'm not sure I heard the question. Repeat.
The question is, if you disagree with a certain current village policy, how would you go about getting it changed?
Well, the disagreement comes from different opinions. At the last forum that we had, an individual talked about charging at the community center. And I think that's how policies are changed. There's a complaint or disagreement by a resident who brings it to your attention. And I think as a trustee, you vet that and see how can be changed or how can it be made better. And then you bring it to your trustees, and their job is to sell them on it, because they may have voted on the existing policy. So now I'm going to say, I have this complaint about the community center. How can we change it? And through that effort of a discussion amongst the trustees, I think that's the best way to address it.
Thank you. Okay, Derek, you can have the first whack at this question. Do you, trustee, know the difference between legislative trustees, the job you seek, and executive, the mayor's job, when it comes to any directive given to a village personnel?
The mayor's job and position is to oversee day-to-day operations. He takes care of your department heads. He runs day-to-day operations. All of your department heads should report to the mayor, and then the mayor, if he has anything, he will bring that to the board. But day-to-day operations is what the mayor is in charge of. As far as the trustees are concerned, the trustees enact and help make policy. In other words, they make legislation. We vote money in and out. We vote resolutions and ordinances. We take care of the government aspect of it, and also the, as I said before, the money aspect.
Might as well have all of you answer this.
Okay, as far as the position of the mayor, as Derek said, his responsibility is delegation to the department heads and stuff. At the same time, the trustees that are in position need to understand that there are certain things they can and can't do, such as you can't promise a constituent if you're going to do something. You're one vote on a board. And as Mr. Case brought forward, these are things that need to be brought up to a general discussion and have the majority or all of the trustees approve and disseminate policy as far as that goes. The mayor runs the day-to-day operation, and in many instances with the department heads, he is the final say.
I look at Sauk Village as a business. The mayor is the CEO, he's the leader, he gives us the guidance. As a trustee, I feel that my responsibility is to protect your dollar, your tax dollars. I want to make sure that whatever your tax dollars are, whatever you pay in taxes, that we get into Sauk Village, that we're spending wisely, and that we're doing appropriate things with it. So I'm going to be your banker. You pay your taxes, and they come into the village, and they go into the budget, and I'm going to be the one to make sure that your dollars go where they should go, and are not spent recklessly. Thank you.
Thank you. The mayor is, as just said, the CEO of the village. He runs the village, he's responsible for the village, and he is in charge of all the heads of the different departments. As a trustee, we are there to vote on ordinances, finances, resolutions, and to examine these things, to learn them, and to bring out what's wrong, what's right, to the mayor, as he brings them to us, and to support the mayor in his job. We all have the responsibility of working together as trustees to work with the mayor, to show him where he's right, to show him where he's wrong, and to a good custodian of the finance for the village, as well as to keep all the other policies and regulations going. As an example, I was given an instruction to bring forth the fireworks show again. As a committee, the mayor instructed me that to have a fireworks show on parade, which for the last 2 years, we have successfully brought forth those with no money out of the taxpayers' expense. So these are the kind of projects that a trustee has to do, has to be in charge of, and we're in charge of our communities. Thank you.
Gary will be first.
Okay, rank these in order of importance and a brief description why. Finances, public safety, economic development, housing, and infrastructure.
As far as finances, with the economic times as the way it is right now, with some of the cutbacks that the new governor has put into place, which is, in my opinion, going to hurt almost everybody. I've already seen it within the Housing Commission. And in the future,
What we're looking for is a ranking out of those 5. Which would you rank
finance.
most important? Okay, then after finances, just going to go down to finances, public safety, economic development, housing, and infrastructure, as related to your trustee duties.
I think public safety, we need to work, I think the trustees and the mayor need to work hand in hand with the police department to address issues and residents' concerns. As far as housing, I feel very strongly on housing, and at the present time we have 261 vacant homes that I'd like to see come down. And I think as a trustee, we can work more towards that. As far as economic development, I think that is something that is everybody on the board's job. We need to bring more business to losing businesses. And it's not due to the village's fault. We need to hit legislation because the tax incentives are not there. Infrastructure, you can only move forward at a certain pace. I've seen infrastructure being worked on, but I think there's a long ways to go.
See some finances, public safety, economic development, housing, and infrastructure. Rank those in order of what you think is most important and a brief description why.
I cannot rank those. I think as a trustee, you must be able to multitask. If you multitask, we can address all of those things. I don't think one is more important than the other. I wouldn't say finance is more important than public safety, or one or the other. I think as a trustee, during the course of your day, that you can devote some time to each one of those subjects and we can accomplish all of them. Thank you.
John? Thank you. Repeat them. Finances, public safety.
Thank you. Okay, as the question says, I will rank them by what I consider finance to be number 1, public safety to be number 2, economic development will be number 3, but a lot of that goes along with finance though. And housing and infrastructure pretty much go on the end there. We have a lot of, as Gary said, a lot of empty houses, 261 that we need to get filled, and that would help with the finances because that would bring our taxes back. So that all kind of work together. These ones, you said most important, the village has a financial problem, and with the governor's current effort to cut our budget as well as everybody else, we have some major challenges in finance coming up. For public safety is one of the number 1 concerns for everybody, and as we cut the budget or have to find things, one of the things I would not be in favor of is doing anything that would risk public safety, reducing our police department, and stuff like that. That is not something where we should go. We need to have safety for all of our residents in this village as they are all important. Economic development, of course, we'd love to get more businesses in here. If but we are in the corner of Cook County. We have Indiana, who has lower tax rates than we do. We have Will County that has lower tax rates than we do. We need to find ways, with working through Cook County and through the village here, to find ways to encourage businesses to come to this town. That is part of economic development that we must do. The housing, the infrastructure, some of that is being worked on already with some of the pipes and stuff are being replaced, fire hydrants are being replaced. We're doing a lot of the public safety and infrastructure work there. The housing, like Gary said again, 261 vacant houses. That is a goal that we would like to see reduced or eliminated, and that would, again, bring more taxing money into the village here. Thank you.
Okay, let me rank them first and then I'll go back and explain. My number one concern would be public safety. Number two would be finance. Number three, infrastructure. Number four, housing. And number five, economic development. Number one, public safety. You have to bring an environment that is conducive for people to come out and live in your village. You would have to make it safe. You would have to get all of the negative or crime negative, I call crime negative, feedback or everything out of the way, because with that, people don't want to move out to your village if you have a high crime rate. So quite naturally, public safety would be number one. Finance. Finance would be number two, because without that, your village cannot strive, cannot move forward. If we owe too much, we have too many debts, it would be hard to get your village to move forward, because what you'll have to do is you may have to, if your debt is so high, you may have to cut things that deal with public safety and also raise taxes. So that's something that you don't want to bring into your village. Number three, infrastructure. Your infrastructure is your bloodline to your village. If your infrastructure is crumbling, so will your village people won't move it, because that again will bring up a red flag, and there's no forward motion to correct the problem as far as the infrastructure. So you have to take care of the infrastructure. That would be my number three. Number four, housing. We do have a lot of housing that's vacant. A lot of municipalities have a lot of housing that's vacant. I would like to see some of this housing decorated, even though it's abandoned. It's a way to represent it. I'd like to see some of that, some of these homes that are vacant not look like they're vacant. As people drive through and prospective buyers come through, they look and they see how many houses are vacant. I don't want them to identify it just by driving by. And number five, economic development. If you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 in place, economic development will be easy, because you've already set your village up so you can showcase it and bring businesses here.
Okay, our next question goes to Cecil Tate. Do you understand that you cannot fill every wish list within a village and have the courage to say no to those wishes that would not be in the best interest of the village as a whole and financial sovereignty of the municipality?
Let's break that down in a couple of different parts, please. That's a relevant question. The question is really long, what I'm hearing, so let's take it in parts so I can respond appropriately.
You don't want to respond to it?
Okay. Could you restate the question in a form that I can respond to it? That's a long question and it has run sentences, and I can't understand where it starts and begins. So if you can restate it so I can respond appropriately.
Okay. As a trustee, that you know that you cannot honor the wish list in the village and then have the courage to say no because of the financial position of the village?
Answer is yes.
I'll ask the question. Given the amount of things that citizens would like to have in a community, how would you determine how we're going to spend money based on what the citizens wish and the best interest of the village? How would you make that determination?
Well, number one, the citizens determine what's in the best interest for the village. So when you have surveys or you talk to people, you find out what their interests or their concerns are. It may be crime, it may be vacancies, whatever that is, but you have to look at the majority of what's best for Sauk Village. Saying no to them, I think you can say no, I can say no, but I need to provide them with an explanation for saying no. I'm just not going to say no because I feel like it's a Saturday afternoon. I need to provide them some reasoning behind it and see if there's other options to get to where they want to be without going their route.
Okay, just real quick, could you repeat the question first?
Okay, if you had a citizen's wish list on one hand and the village's finances in the other hand, how would you best spend the money that's available?
Okay, I believe that the question earlier was a little different, but I would say yes, that I can separate that. I've already done so in the past, working with the mayor and the other trustees to do the things that we need to do. Things that I would definitely not remove would be ways of fighting crime, the police department, stuff like that. Public safety, those things cannot be cut and done away with. Those are the things that we have primary concern, and then our infrastructure. Those things are the things that we must keep going. Some of the other stuff where maybe you want to put a skate park in or something like that, those things are minor and have to be really reviewed before we can do that. Yes, the public might like things like that, or to do things like that, but we don't have the money for frivolous stuff like to do that. We have to work on the basic stuff that keep our citizens safe, keep this community going, and to bring Sauk Village forward. That is the most important things we can do. We have to do that as trustees. We have to find money to do some of it. And sometimes there are some difficult cuts in there that we're really going to have to do. We're all being challenged by that. Every committee, every trustee is being challenged with that to come up with ideas of ways to increase the money coming into town as we have at every other board meeting. We have those financial initiatives that we are trying to find. Thank you.
Yes, first of all, can I say no? No. Because if the person or persons or group came to the board to ask this, there's ways to be around it. Now, you have to go back and talk to them. We have an incident right now that we're working with, and that's the water situation here in the village. And it was voted on, it was voted up to increase the rates to go towards Lake Michigan water. We just had another meeting and talked to the engineer, and he gave us a summary on what's going on and letting us know just how much it would cost. But to say no, I never believe in saying no, because no means there's no solution. There's always a solution if you work together to try to make it happen. As far as what would be my primary concern, as you stated in the last question, I gave all 5 answers. What would be my primary concern? It would be number 1, public safety. And I would let everyone know, and all your residents, that's why you have board meetings. Let them know that in order to do certain things, it's going to cost the residents money. As was stated before, the governor is cutting our costs, so we have to come up with ways as trustees and as board members to offset that cost that was being dealt to us by the state.
First off, I think it's imperative that you approach and ask a particular question that not to give an answer at that time because you're only one vote. Take it before the board, discuss it, and then get back to the individual that requested it. One of the problems I've seen time and time again is people ask a question and they don't get a direct answer. People would have to understand when they pose a question to you that you can't answer it on the spot, but you've got to assure to go back and answer the question one way or the other.
John Austin would be first on this. What has your committee accomplished for the residency and taxpayers?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
What has your committee, Parks and Recreation Committee,
What have we done?
what have you accomplished for the resident and taxpayers?
Thank you. Parks and Recs has accomplished many things. We reopened the community center. We have started programs for our youth to run over the summer. We have a basketball program. We reinitiated the Easter egg hunt. Which was taken out of town earlier by another administration. We have got the Corn and Dog Worlds up and running. We brought back a parade for the villagers, for our village of Sauk Village for the 4th of July. We had a fireworks show. We're now working on the summer baseball program, which is a subcommittee I have going right now, which is being run by Ed Sullivan. He's put a group of a committee together of 5 people to try to start the baseball program back up, which has been dead since 2009. So that is something we would dearly like to get going again. Other projects we have in the works is I'm trying to work on a bike rodeo or a bike parade for the younger children here in town to have a parade or something where they can decorate their bikes. We're also looking at bringing in a farmer's market hopefully this summer. We're also looking at opening the gym for a youth, and that should be a younger youth, indoor soccer league for over at the community center. That would have to be the younger children because it's not big enough for older kids to play soccer in. We're looking at things like volleyball programs, we're looking at game days, movie days, those things we've had in the past. And we're also looking for volunteers to come forward with things to teach people at least once a month over at the community center. Thank you.
Yes, okay. First of all, let me give a little history. In 2006, when I was appointed as trustee, I was in
We
charge.
would prefer what your committee presently, please.
I was just giving the history. Okay. My committee, which was something I started because the committee that was asked of me, I didn't feel that it was going to best utilize what I could bring to the village, so I started in governmental relations in 2013. Since then, we've had 2 CETA programs to come here where people can fill out for CETA for assistance, and we've also had a property tax forum that we've had last year. We'll have one this year.
Your
Well, as far as the housing commission is my primary goal, and we've worked with the land bank, the county, the state. We've reduced the number of vacant homes drastically over the last few years, but we still have a way to go. We've worked in conjunction with the beautification committee, running the summer youth program, so that took up some of the work that Public Works didn't have time for, but maintaining the hedges and stuff around the village. We're constantly striving. We had the summer cutting program that was somewhat successful, but we ran into problems with the state with that. But other than that, we keep moving forward, trying to enhance the houses. There's been a great number of homes back on the tax rolls now, and I feel it's through a lot of effort. We've worked with Prairie State on several programs, and like I said, the land banks, both Chicago's and Cook Counties and Sausalito. Thank you.
I don't think Cecil has a committee, so that question would be not valid for him.
Can I have a question for Cecil?
No, the question would be for Derek. He's the next one.
Describe your vision for Sauk Village and how we would get there.
That's a great question. My vision for Sauk Village is one that I'm very passionate about, and that's being able to be in partnership with the residents. One that would be a diverse community, to show other communities that we can live and coexist with each other here in the village. One that would bring more economic growth into this village, not just around it. One that would be involved, get the residents out, and have something for them, find out what it is that would take them to come out and get involved in this village. Because together we can make things happen, but by ourselves, believe me, all we can do is just fight amongst one another. We don't need this. I want the village to move in the direction where we will become financially stable. It can happen. Everyone can remember what happened, I would say maybe, I think 15, 17 years ago, when Dyer, Indiana, when you drove through there and you saw the road and it was very little economic development. Now look at it. Yes, they're in debt, but they're in debt positively because they have money coming in. All municipalities are in debt, but you take that debt and you make something out of it. I don't mind, all of us are in debt positively. You buy cars or whatever, so I'm looking for something that we can together bring this community and be proud to live here as Sauk villagers.
Gary, describe your vision for Sauk Village and how we can get there.
One of the things I'd love to see is financially stable. As far as going back to the past, I don't think we need to go back to the past. We need to look at the future. I think more programs for all buildings need to be brought out here. I think there needs to be a total diversity. I'd like to see more block parties taking place and more people show up and get involved in the village. I'd like to see, it's good to board meetings, it's the same group of people every week, day in, day out. I think the more people that get involved with the village, the better it will be in the long run. There's over 10,500 people in the village. There's got to be some great ideas out there, economic-wise and everything else. We also need to look more and more with businesses and promote our businesses more.
First thing I think needs to be done is to give the residents of Sauk Village ownership, partnership. We've got away from that. Residents used to have an input into how the village is run, who does what, and they felt a part of the big picture. And I think we've gotten away from that. It's become officials running the village and not the residents running the village. You live here, you work here, you're raising your families here, so why shouldn't you have something to say about what goes on here? So I think we rebuild a relationship where the residents feel a part of Sauk Village. And I think ideas will just flow from that point on. We'll start talking about infrastructure. And infrastructure is real simple. It could be a street sign. It could be cleaning up an area. It could be planting a tree. All of those things lead to a person driving by Sauk Village saying, I need to stop off and see what they're doing there. I want to move my family there because it's eye appealing. And I think all that starts right from building a relationship with the residents. And then the ideas will flow and we work together to make a dream come true. Thank you.
I'm glad you asked that question. The first thing I would like to see is Sauk Village to grow, to become friends and neighbors as we were before. If you remember, I don't like to dwell in the past. It used to be you could go out in the backyard, talk to your neighbors, just to know your neighbors. Today, it's everybody's locked up in their houses. We need to get more of the public involved in more things. We have a great direction. We have plenty of things for people to do in town, and we're trying to add more. That is one of the goals of Parks and Recs and most of the people in the village. We like to have more summer programs, and we like to have more things for our kids and our youth and for adults to do. That's why we have so many of these corn roasts and festivals and things. A lot of that is done by volunteers. Most of it is done by volunteers, which is a great thing. That brings the community together. If you go to these corn and dog roasts and you go to these other things, you see the people getting together to talk, to come together no matter who or what they are, and they are friendly. This is a friendly village. My view for this village is to continue to have this village grow, to be the kind of village you would want to bring your family to, and to raise your kids in. I've done it. I think it's a great town. I've been here for 37 years. We are a great town. We just need to continue to move forward. We can't keep looking back at what happened in the past. We have great opportunity for the future, and let's take advantage of it. Thank you.
The next question, we start with Jerry. What village sanctioned function other than the informational meetings have you participated in and helped in implementing?
As I said, I've had almost 99% of the board meetings. I participate in the housing commission. I work with parks and recreation, printing a lot of the things they need printed. I work with the beautification committee. Anytime they call once a month, or if we come across the house that needs a little touch, we work with Bill. I've been here for 27 years, and I've volunteered for 27 years. I think the village would move a lot further forward if we had more volunteers. Thank you.
Please repeat the question.
Pardon?
Please repeat the question.
What village sanctioned functions other than informational meetings have you participated in and helped to implement?
Again, I don't want to seem redundant and repeat this. My accomplishments, the things I've been involved in Sauk Village, are in my bio. My bio is out in the lobby. Please pick that up. Please read that. I don't want to regurgitate what I've done for the last 30 years in Sauk Village.
Good job.
Thank you. That's a really, really good question. What have I done as part of Sauk Village? Well, let's see, we can start way back when I was involved with the Sauk Village Sports Association for over 18 years. I was a manager, I was player personnel, I was president, I was tournament director, and I managed teams, took teams traveled with the teams as they went to tournaments. That is some of the stuff I've done at Sauk Village. Other things that I've done is I've been on a committee for Parks and Recs. Actually, I chair that committee now. I was vice chairman of the Housing Commission. I work on that one. I, in the past, have been sitting on other committees. I've been served as a member of the ESDA for 7 years. These are the kind of things that we all need to do. We all need to be involved in the city and the village we go to. Other programs I've been to, I think we judged the chili cook-off, which is coming up. And I've run the fireworks, I've run the parade, I assisted running the parade with 2 other trustees. We have gotten programs going for our youth over the summer. Again, I don't want to go over all the things we've done, but we've got summer and winter basketball going now. We are continuing to do that. With the craft show coming up this week, we're trying to move forward and do more in the community center. We've got fresh coat of paint over there. We're now looking to improve the kitchen with different things that we need for the kitchen. Those are projects that I will continue to do and to work with any of the communities here in Sauk Village to help the communities to move forward. Thank you.
Derek.
I just want to clarify before I answer the question. You said village sanction. Could you give me an example? What do you mean by village sanction?
Well, we're saying church function, your block parties.
Okay. Back in 1982, as I stated before, I was a finance chairman for St. James Church. I was also vice president of their school board. And when I became involved in the village in 2005, I was a zoning commissioner. In 2006, I was in charge of Parks and Recs from 2006 to 2009. We had all the programs. We even had baseball back then. And in 2010, end of 2009, I became involved with the with the economic development. I'm gonna go back to 1998. I started the men's club over where I live at. It's now the homeowners association, and it's a men's club. It's our neighborhood watch. I was the founder of that. Economic development, as I stated before, I was on that committee when we brought in WinPac, which is an industrial conglomerate over in DP Partners right down Sauk Trail. I've been involved with all committees. I've either volunteered or I just jumped in and started helping, which is what, since I've been a trustee for all the different committees, and supported them. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to use up all that time for that. But I've been involved since I moved here in 1982 in some aspect to try to move this village forward.
Having only one vote on the board of trustees, how would you work with the other trustees to achieve a positive outcome, particularly in the areas of conflicts?
It's all about discussions and compromise. I think that of the 6 trustees, once each trustee has stated his or her position and why they feel a particular way on the subject, I think that a joint discussion is held, and then you discuss how can we best move this forward. Because you're going to end up with a 2-4 vote, 3-3 vote, or whatever the case may be. I don't think this way to govern your village. I think that through compromise, through give and take, that there should be a happy medium that you can reach on that topic and move the village forward in that way.
Having only one vote on the board of trustees, how would you work with the other trustees to achieve a positive outcome, particularly in the area of conflict?
Good question. First of all, we should always be able to have open discussion with the other trustees. That is one of our jobs, is to have open discussion with them. We can go and meet with anybody, any of the other trustees. We can't exchange phone calls. It's all through communication. We have to make compromises. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. We have to have good knowledge of the subject too. You have to be able to research it and bring your ideas and bring your solutions forward so that we can settle any disputes that we have. This is kind of like a dispute resolution if we have those kind of disagreements. We're all entitled to our own vote, whether we agree or disagree. They are allowed to vote the way they see fit, and that is one of our rights. So as you can see, we all do that. We have discussions every other week here, and we try to bring forward any information we can. We need to be as transparent as we can with that. That's why we're out here discussing some of that stuff, and that we continue to do that at these board meetings. If we have questions, we need to either ask them or meet with the people who are involved or do the research that is necessary to bring the proper information forward for the residents, for the other trustee members, so they can know and understand what we're doing. Thank you.
Yes, first of all, I would, as a trustee, I want to be notified, not the same day that I'm getting ready to vote on something ahead of time, so I can discuss that. I don't want to come to a meeting and something just thrown at me and said, okay, let's vote on that. That's where you have dissension. That's where I would have a problem, because why, if you've known about it, or if it's in writing, if you put something in writing, it means you knew about it ahead of time. I should have known about it before it was put into writing. So that's what I would do. I would ask and talk. If it's something that I didn't believe in, yes, I would talk to my trustees. You can talk to your trustees one-on-one. You don't have to have a group session. You don't have to have a conference call. I'm sure that goes on now where people call and try to persuade you to go a certain way on a certain topic. My thing would be, I would have no problem if there's a topic that's in question. I would love for us to talk about it. If I get it ahead of time, yes, I would talk to my other trustees and ask them how do you feel, and I would let them know how I feel. But the main thing, I would like to find out about it ahead of time before I'm actually asked to
just because you want something done doesn't mean it's actually gonna happen. It's the majority vote rules. Thank you.
Okay, this question goes to John Austin. Does your campaign reflect who you are as a person? Explain.
That's a great question. Does my campaign reflect who I am? My answer would be yes, because I intend and am absolutely going to run a positive campaign. I'm a positive person. I can work with anybody. I can get things done. I've shown that in the past, and I will continue to do that in the future. Parks and Recs is a tough job. I don't care what a lot of people say. There's a lot of things going on in this town. It takes a lot of time, a lot of extra time. It's to show you that I can and will run a positive campaign. I will look for help from anybody to run Parks and Recs, to do what is necessary to get it done here in the village. We have, as I said before, we have a great town, great community. We have a lot of valuable resources in this town. We just needed to get them to come forward. So I will indeed run a positive campaign. I will not respond to any negativity. I will not force this campaign over the media either. This will be done by me, walking out, talking to people, meeting people, and being positive. Thank you.
Yes. As far as does my campaign reflect who I am a diverse, no nonsense, tell the truth, strictly to the point person. I'm not here to win over and, as they say, kiss babies and things. I'm here to help run this village financially and positively. If there's something that I don't like, I will say something about it. As far as browbeat another candidate, no. I didn't like that, still don't like browbeating or talking about another person. I will let you know what it is that I feel. I don't need anyone to talk for me. I talk for myself as I'm doing right now. I will let you know if it's something that's wrong. I will be the first to say that I'm sorry if I did something wrong. But as far as my campaign is concerned, as far as what I feel that you want to hear the truth. You put me here to help run your village and to keep your village above out of the red and to make it move forward positively. That's what I feel that you voted for me for, and I'm going to make sure that I do that. Without anyone's help, irregardless, but when people talk about you, when people try to put words in your mouth, it lets you know that either they're scared of what you're trying to say, or they have to find something, because they can't use your integrity, so they have to find something that they have to use or utilize to throw something negative at you. If people are always saying that you're doing negative things, you must be doing something right. And that's the way I feel. I've always felt this way. This is not the first time anyone has known it. Since I've been in office since 2006, I will run a positive, no nonsense, strictly to the point campaign.
First off, I don't believe in bashing anybody as far as that goes in this campaign. There's everybody on this panel and those that haven't shown up, everyone's a worthy candidate. People need to take a look at what candidate gives them the most answers to their questions. I'm open and free to talk to anybody anytime. Most people that know me in the village either have my cell phone number, my email address. I never not. I always believe that you praise in public, criticize in private. If I have something negative to say to somebody, I'll say it to their face, and I'd expect the same from them. Thank you.
My campaign prior to the inclement weather was walking through Sauk Village and talking to residents. And that's something that I think that each trustee, and this is my opinion, should do. Because we need to know what's important to you. I cannot find out what's important to you sitting here. But if I walk out and go to the grocery store, go to the hardware, knock on your door, those are ways to find out what's important to you, because what's important to you as a resident of Sauk Village is also important to me. And there's no way for me to know that if I don't talk to you. So my campaign is consistent of talking to the residents. I have not done anything extra, anything great other than that. And that's the sincerity of it.
Next question goes to Derek. Do you support by shopping in Sauk Village?
Yes, I was, like I said before, I was in charge of economic development. I know most of the businesses, owners by name. If there's something, every time I talk to people, I ask them, why don't we support our businesses? Because without support of the businesses, they cannot make it here in Sauk Village or anywhere else. Yes, I do support it. I would like to see more of it. There's things that we can do, and I try to, when we have things that we have to buy from any particular vendor or a particular retailer, that we try to go to our vendors, or our retailers here in the village first. And if there's a problem, I remember prior years that there was a problem in one of the stores here, and I went to the store owner and let them know some of the things that were going on that were kind of a negativity for that particular business. And since that time, they did try to, they listened to what we had to say, and they straightened a few of the things out. And that's what I tell people all the time. If there's a reason why you don't want to shop, or there's a reason why you feel that the businesses that are in Sauk Village are not conducive, go to them. You're spending your money. You have the right to tell them that their prices are too high, their food is this, or whatever the case may be. Let them know, because you are the consumer. You're spending your dollar. And I'm sure if they have any kind of sense, they would comply. Because if not, they can't make it without their dollar. 100%, I definitely support our businesses here in the village.
I agree in the respects that we really need to promote our businesses, do more shopping through our village needs, through our businesses within the village. What everybody needs to understand is every dollar you spend there, part of that is the tax dollars that returns to the village. And if we don't support those businesses, we lose those businesses. It's a two-sided fence. We have to listen to the consumer, and the owners have to know what the consumer wants and expects from them. I think that as a trustee, it would be imperative that we be in constant communication with all the businesses.
I definitely believe in supporting our businesses in Sauk Village. And as much as we possibly can, depending on the wares or the services they provide, I think we all should do that. I talked to some of the business owners, and I had a pet peeve with one of them because they were buying their goods outside of Sauk Village, bringing them into Sauk Village, and then reselling them to the residents here. I have a problem with that. If you're going to buy wares that are available locally, buy them locally, and then keep that money turning around. But don't go to some other community and bring something in and then you resell it to us in Sauk Village. And I talked to the owner about that, and whether or not he stopped it or not, I don't know. But at least he knows that someone knows, that someone's watching. So I think we all have to take some kind of responsibility to address business owners that are not serving you to the fullest extent. By the same token, we must start appreciating our businesses. There's nothing wrong with going into a business owner and say, how are you doing today? How are things going? And let them know that you're concerned. And I don't think any of that happens, at least from what I've done, what I've seen when I walked around. Because I've asked that question, when was the last time someone came in and just say, how are you doing? How's your business going? More often than not, they had not seen anyone, no one had made an inquiry. I think we have to show them we appreciate them being in Sauk Village. We want them to stay in Sauk Village. We want them to expand to stay in Sauk Village. And if you don't show appreciation, that's going to be difficult to do. Thank you.
That's really a good question, because we definitely need to support our businesses. Do I support the businesses in Sauk Village? Absolutely. My wife and I shop here at the grocery store. I think I support Walgreens by myself. But all those businesses, my wife and I are in there and we shop. I'd say we're in the grocery store at least 3 times a week. Parks and Recs, I spent a lot of time in there talking to all those managers, asking them to put signs up, asking them for their support for my programs. These managers know who I am. Sometimes they wince a little when I'm walking because they think I'm coming to ask them for something. But I have good communication with them. I know most of them by sight, and they know me by sight. So yes, I do support the village businesses. I will continue to support the village businesses, and will use them whenever I can for anything that Parks and Recs needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question would be for Gary Holcomb. Do you feel that more than $13 per 1,000 gallons of Lake Michigan water is affordable?
No. And
Describe what you would be willing to pay.
nothing. I'd like to see it revert back to $5.50 myself, but I know that's going to be an impossible task considering infrastructure, the age of the infrastructure in the village. As Jim Cernick pointed out the other night, some of this infrastructure is 40 and 50 years old. It's not going to happen overnight. With all the cutbacks that are already present, as much as I'd love to see a roll back on the cost of water, I don't think it'll happen in my lifespan. Thank you.
Cecil?
Nothing. I think we have to keep in mind a couple of things. Some villages has a high unemployment rate. Some villages has individuals that are on fixed incomes, and they can't afford to keep paying increases for services. That's the first part. So we need to try to find a way to curtail that and not put an extra hardship. When people have to decide, should I pay my water bill or should I go to the pharmacy? How do you weigh that out? So we need to start thinking carefully about what we're doing for water. Would I like Lake Michigan water? I don't know. It's probably better than what we're getting now. I don't know. So how much would I be willing to pay? I know it's a question you want to ask. I don't know. I don't know. It's like buying a car. How much do you want to pay? Do you want to pay $10,000 or $12,000? And so I have no idea. But I think we should get our money's worth. Whatever it is that we're going to pay, we should get our money's worth. And we have to be cognizant of our population. Senior citizens, retired people can't pay $13, $15, $20 a gallon. They can't do it. So why even raise it that high? You want homes with no water? Probably not. So I think we have to be cognizant of where we live, who our population is, and make sure that our residents are served the best way we can serve them at the lowest price possible.
John?
No, I don't really think I can afford to pay that much more for water. As my opponent just said there, I am a retired person. I do live on a fixed income, so more money for water is definitely a hardship. I think it is for a lot of people in this town. Do I see it going down at all? No, it's going to be to $7.50. We need that to fix the infrastructure to keep moving forward with what the referendum said. We do have to do that. But the rate the referendum said we go 1037. We have lowered it to 750. So we're trying to keep tabs on it, and it's something that I wouldn't want to pay anymore if I didn't have to. I'll do what I have to do. Like everybody here would, because I have water. But I think that my ideal one would be like Gary said, 550 would be great, but we're never going to see that again. We're going to go up and up and to get this other water if we want. But the water in town is safe to drink. It's safe. So we should all be happy with it. And we are not happy with the expense of it. But we still have to have water. I mean, that's a fact of life. So, thank you.
Eric?
$13.67. That means you would actually double what you're paying right now. Do I think the people of the Sauk Village can afford it? No. But, as I stated before, there's other alternatives. And I think we, as a board, owe it to this village to find other means to bring the positiveness of the water situation that we have back. Because this is a domino effect. If the word is still out there that our water is this or whatever, we cannot go forth as was stated before as far as economic development, because that's the first thing someone's going to come to your village and ask you, do you still have the water problem? Do you have Lake Michigan water? What have you done for that? And that's not just economic development, that's people that are trying to move out here that are coming into the village and buying homes or whatever it takes. We have to work with that. As I stated before, I'm not going to take no for an answer. We have our engineers. There's other things that were brought up as far as trying to alleviate the situation. We don't necessarily have to go to Lake Michigan water. There's other ways. There's other ways to skin a cat. And it's not just always that one way that's most popular. I mean, there's other things that we can do. We can look and see how much it would cost if we were to be in compliance with other villages. But bottom line is, before we can do anything with Lake Michigan water, we have to fix our infrastructure. That will cost money, and as it was explained before, we can do that with what we're getting the water rates are right now. But people want something else. We have to put our thinking caps on. We have to get out there. We have to go out and check out and find out where else and what else can we do as an alternative to the water that we have.
Describe how you would promote Sauk Village for residents, for businesses.
Again, this is a wraparound question to some of the things we talked about. First of all, you have to make Sauk Village appealing. It has to look like a place you would like to shop, where you like to live, where you like to go to school. It has to be appealing, first of all. When you come off 394 and stop at Sauk Trail, it looks like you're going into another country. And mind you, I've been in many countries, just like some of you. So we have to start cleaning it up from the time they get to Sauk Trail. And when they make that turn to come east, they see something that looks nice, it looks livable, it looks safe. This is where I want to live and raise my family, so my children should go to school. So you start with the appearance, first of all. And I think once you start with the appearance, the other things are naturally going to fall into place. I think businesses are going to say, I want to relocate. So our business is kind of cheap right now because there are a lot of vacancies, but I want to put my business there because it's a good-looking community. It's a healthy-looking community. So appearance is the very beginning. Street signs, street lights. Someone told me something about installing new street lights, that there's a way to get new street signs that will be illuminated, that you can transverse through Sauk Village more easily, whether you're a visitor or you live out here. So something as simple as that. So appearance, I think, is the number one on the agenda. If we clean up, make it look presentable, then I think everything else will follow. Thank you.
That's a great question. Yes, we need to clean up the village a lot. Okay. Have we done that? Yes. We've had 3 updates. The beautification committee working with them, we only had 3 or 4 cleanup days just in the last few months. We've also had the signs that were along 394. All those ugly signs that were up there, those handmade signs, those have all been removed. We've painted our signs that say, welcome to Sauk Village. Those are the kind of jobs that we need to do to spruce up Sauk Village to make it look that much better. We've removed a lot of the trash and stuff along 394 and down Sauk Trail that were eyesores. We've also, as my opponent just mentioned about the lights, is we've come to an agreement with able to put all new street lights in the town. And that was a project that was put forward by President Obama as a cost-saving initiative, because those lights will be energy efficient and will save the village money over the course of time and it was at no cost to the village. We will have to pay the electric bills, obviously, but the company coming in to put the new lights in is doing it, and we have a grant for that. Those are the kind of things to make the village look better. We need to make the village friendly. We have some of the best people in the world right here in Sauk Village. I say that because I know a lot of people in Sauk Village, and I think we're friendly, and we can bring people into this village because of our friendliness. Businesses are a little harder. They have the tax issues we have with Advanced Auto and a couple of the other businesses in town, giving them some kind of grace to encourage them to come to Sauk Village. Most businesses can't afford $2.5, $3 square foot for their business, and we have found ways to reduce it to 90 cents per square foot through different tax incentives. Those are the things that we need to continue to do. Thank you.
Jared?
What would I do to enhance the village? What different? Some of the things I would like to see happen out here. Instead of the youth or young, anyone that has it's a misdemeanor, instead of arresting people all the time for small crimes, we should develop a community service program where we can have them to come out once a month, as the city does, and go and clean up this village. And quite naturally, you'll see people out there seeing that happen. We have to project a positive image here in the village. Community service would be, instead of giving everyone a record for something, let's work with them. I'm sure, yes, the harder crimes, absolutely. But the small crimes like walking in the street, instead of getting those tickets, you have the opportunity, you can either pay that ticket or you can come out and sign up for our community service. And then also, we have to bring a positive spin on the village. You have crimes and things that happen. They always print in the papers the negative because that sells papers. Let's challenge our newspapers to print positive, to let them see that this is what we do, and showcase that we're trying to work with our community to enhance our village. Yes, it was stated before as far as coming off of 394 right there at Sauk Trail. You're right. Let's find out what we can do to go after those homeowners or go after those building owners. They're not homes, because some of those don't look like homes. And find out what we can do. Either you clean it up or we'll knock it down. Those are the type of legislation we should enact and try to put in place so we don't have that problem. And so when you do come and you as a trustee or as a mayor bring in prospective people to come into the village, that the first thing you don't have to do is explain what it looks like as you come south of 394 and you look over to the east, why that looks that way.
The question is, describe how you promote Sauk Village.
First off, I think the village itself, the residents and the employees of the village all need to take ownership of the village. One of the biggest concerns I have, and I've brought it up numerous times, is neighbors see people dumping trash in an abandoned house or anything, they don't want to get involved. I, for one, I don't know about other people, but especially in the summer, I clean my yard every single morning, and I go back the next morning, it's just as dirty as it was the day before. I think we need the people to take ownership. If you see some dumping trash, throwing trash out of the car, write down their license plates, let the police know. But we have to take ownership. The businesses have to take ownership of themselves. The landlords of these businesses need to take ownership. I know for a fact, 2 years ago, Derek had an issue with, when he leased the building, he, on his own initiative, put in lights so that they could see the sidewalks and so. It's people have to take ownership. We need to support ownership. We need to, I agree with Derek in respects that I've asked numerous times that we bring back community service. I want to go a step further and do like the city of Chicago does. If I catch your 15-year-old trashing something, he gets 10 hours of community service, and you do along with it.
can you define your role as a public servant?
Define my role as a public servant, that's a great question. What have I done is for public service? Well, obviously I work for the post office, that's a great public service. It provides services for everybody in the country. So that is part of my public service. I've also been a trustee here. So I work for the village here as a trustee. We do all kinds of things as trustees. I run my committee. We got the committee of Parks and Recs. We got Parks and Recs running again. Is that where I want it to be? No. So there's future growth that I have. I've also, as far as working with the public, like I said, I was in ESDA for 7 years. I worked with the public in that area. I try to promote the village in everything I do to bring people into this town to help us. And these are the public service things that I do. We work with the seniors. I work with any group that asks me for help. I'm more than willing to help. The summer programs that we had in here over the summer, they were here, and it seems like they weren't used as much. Maybe we need to get our word out a little more. But our public service is based on all of us working together as a team, volunteering to get the things done that we need to get done, and to bring some of those services back, like the Little League. We'd like to get the Little League back. We'd like to get other things back for the kids in this town. There are many, many things that we can do. Like Gary and the other opponents have always said, that we need to find a way to get the youth off the streets. And if they're getting tickets, find community service. I'm the favorite community service for them to do that kind of work and promote them. And we, as trustees, need to continue to work towards that. Thank you.
You said define my role as a public servant? Is that what the question was?
Yes.
Okay. My role as a public servant is to be available and to be held accountable for the position that you, as the people here in Sauk Village, put me into. Is to make sure that I'm available, that I have over the years passed my cards out with my phone numbers on. I do get a lot of phone numbers, by the way. I can tell everyone here, a lot of times I don't get a lot of numbers up here, phone calls here in the village. I prefer if you call my cell phone because I can answer that right away. Is to be available for the people, to listen. Not saying I can charge or I can do everything that you say, but at least listen and bring it up and get an answer back to you to let you know the status of what it is that you asked for. A public servant is exactly what it is. It serves the public. There's no time frame. You know, just like a police officer, you're always on duty. You're always a servant for the people in your community. So, you know, getting out, sometimes I do like being involved, having the campaigns, even though campaigns are stressful. I still like it because you get a chance to walk out there and talk to the people to find out what it is that they don't like. Because believe it or not, even though you may think that you're doing the right thing, a lot of people, you know, you're going to have the people that are going to be saying, okay, pat you on the back. But you also have the ones that have, and I call it constructive criticism. And that's exactly what it is, constructive. Now, the ones that attack, that's a different thing. But if you have constructive criticism, you have some good points, yes. Yes, that's what a public servant does, is try to address those issues. Not saying that you can make them happen, but you can address them and bring them up. That's what we are there for, to bring them up, bring them back to the village of the whole, bring it back to the board of the whole, some of the questions, some of the things that most of the residents have and want to see answered.
As a public servant, I agree. You're there for the people, not for your own self-interest. I think it's imperative that any public official make themselves readily available. Like I said, I'm retired full-time. I'm the type that would answer the call anytime. I do it now, so it would be no different. But I do think it has to be the people's interest, not your own self-interest. Everybody's an individual. You have to give due respect to all the residents, irregardless. And communication is the #1 thing. Transparency. Let them know what is going on and why it's going on that way.
Thank you, Cecil.
My role as a public servant would be to represent the residents of Sauk Village. I want to be your mouthpiece, the one to voice your concerns. What aggravates me a little bit is to come to village board meetings and hear someone ask a question and they're disrespected. People are being rude to them. Let them be rude to me. Let them be disrespectful to me. That's fine. I can deal with that. But I think as a resident, let me bring forth your concern. You don't have to stand here and get disrespected. It doesn't make sense? No, to me it doesn't make sense. To me it's aggravating. I would not want my mother, grandmother to be disrespected and people being rude to them. So tell me your concern. Let me discuss your concern with the trustees and the mayor and see if we can find a resolution to it. Will we always find a resolution? Absolutely not. Will we address every single concern? I would give it some lip service and see what we can get out of it. So I don't think you need to fight the battle alone. Have a trustee to fight your battle for you. And that's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question goes to Derek Burgess. How would you make Sauk Village government more transparent than it is now?
You would have asked me that question. How many minutes do we have? Very simple. Communication. That's all. Just communication. That's how you make it transparent. Communication with your fellow trustees, communication with your residents. But you have to be told what's going on. In other words, you have to be informed. And that's something that we need to do. We have to inform so we can inform.
How would you do a better job than?
How would I do a better job? I don't send out the communication. I would let the people know. I have a town hall meeting every third Wednesday of the month. Been having one since June. And the reason for those town hall meetings are to get more and more information out to the people that can't make it or that want to discuss other things further. That's what I've done to try to bring more and more I won't say programs, more and more information to the people of Sauk Village. And so far it's been pretty successful. People come out and they can express their opinion without being told 2, 10, 5, 6 minutes. They can engage with each other. I will not allow people to talk about one another, but they can engage in each other and together, as we stated before, we can help solve some of the problems.
So people who couldn't come out, how would you get the information to them?
Only way you can get the information to them is through communication. We would have to either bring back Sauk Talk, have it mailed back out. We have a marquee, but that doesn't hold a lot of information. The ones that can't come out, short of walking door to door, I don't know another way. I'm not good at, you give me 10 minutes to ask the same question. But I'm not, you would have to find a way to get the people that engage, other than going door to door. I don't know another way. Like I said before, I do have a town hall meeting every third Wednesday of the month to help those that are really interested. People have to want to be interested to be involved or be informed.
How would you make Sauk Village government more transparent than it is now?
Open the closed doors and include everybody on the board.
What would you do different that's being done now to be more transparent?
Before any decisions or any major events take place, communicate with the other members of the board. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a cumulative effort, not an individual, not a group of individuals. Everyone should have their voice in every venue there is, regardless. If you're going to put out something and you get it an hour before the meeting, you can't respond to it. If you can't get it to that board member beforehand, give them adequate time to investigate and look at it, then don't put it on the table to the next meeting. As far as communication to the residents, most of the people in this village do not have internet. The only way we could get through to most of the residents is work hand in hand with the school district. We have 3 major schools within the village, 1 outside the village. Disseminate more information to the families and ask families to communicate with their neighbors that don't have kids. But you get a bigger majority of information out there if we disseminated a quarterly newsletter through the schools, or as Derek pointed out, mail it out quarterly. You could put out the Sauk quarterly and mail it to every house. I know it costs $3,000 to mail, but I think people would be more willing to spend $3,000 quarterly on that than some of the other things that we spend on. Thank you.
What I'm looking for in particular, Cecil, is you do email blasts right now. We have the Sauk Talk, we have the Village Marquee, and we regularly make announcements and put informational flyers in the bulletin board at Village Hall. So what I'm looking for is, what we're doing is how would you make Sauk Village government more transparent than it is now, with what's currently being done? I hear people say that we aren't transparent enough. Well, what do you recommend we could do to be more transparent?
I think you have to let the village residents determine what's the best way for them to receive information. It's easy to stand in the office behind a computer and say, we're going to do A, B, and C. How about us asking the residents, what is the best way for us to communicate with you? And let them make the determination and see if you can follow up on that. I'm just opposed to us making that determination for the residents of Sauk Village.
Good question. One I've been seeking an answer for a long time. There's a lot of communication that we try to put out there. As Steve said, we have the e-blast. You can sign up for the e-blast because almost everybody has one of these nowadays. Flyers, I'm probably the king of flyers. I send out flyers all the time. I have them all over the place. I send them through the schools. The schools do have some restrictions on what you can and cannot put through the schools. Those flyers are for information, mostly for the Parks and Rec programs. They tend to not put other things on there unless it's for children. The newspaper, we used to have the Chicago Head Start used to have a section that used to be Sauk Village. Maybe we need to see if we can find a newspaper that will carry a section for us, see what would be involved with that. The other thing is we can encourage people to attend the committee meetings. A lot of information goes on in the committee meetings. We have committee meetings that run all the time. Thursdays are pretty full. I know that every Thursday of the month we got 2, 3, 4 meetings. We post a lot of the information on the businesses in town. As a craft show, you'll see my craft show signs throughout town here. I have a lot of committee members that help me put those out. That's not a one-man job. They do a good job at supporting me, and I thank them for that. And the web pages and the e-blasts, they work, but not everybody has computers, so those are secondary ones in my opinion. But the e-blast is a good thing. It goes on your phone or your computer, so you can do that. The marquee, we probably need to update our marquee somehow. We need one of those electrical ones that will float the information so we can have more than one item on the marquee at a time. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have the last question before closing. This goes to Gary. Describe your business or budget background.
In the military, I wrote budgets for my department. After retiring and working for security, I wrote budgets for manpower. Financing is in conjunction with that. I do have a degree in hospital administration and controlling, and I do understand budgets. I'm a little rusty after 25 years of retirement, but I'm sure I can pick up on it.
I've written up budget proposals for about 10 years in the military. The last budget proposal I road was in 2004 for $2 million, and I made that with the ambassador from the country of Japan to help build a hospital in Iraq. Was it hard? Not only do we have the language difference and understanding, but medical principles were different. So I did draft that budget. I did meet with the ambassador for Japan. We negotiated that, and I left before the hospital was completed. So I hope it was built, but they'll cost $2 million, and Japan paid for it, and it was through my efforts and some of my teammates. We sit down collectively and drafted that budget proposal.
Great question. First, I'm going to start with saying that I went to Prairie State College and took accounting classes. That's where I started to learn these kind of things that you need to do to make and form budgets. I did that so that I could be a postmaster in the post office. There I was given a budget yearly, which tended to change quarterly, but every year they gave me a budget to stay within. I had to manage my office to keep it in budget, and I managed to do that 95% of the time. That is a great goal. That is why I moved up in the post office, because I could stay within my budget and do what I needed to do to get done. Same thing with Parks and Recs. I was given a budget. I've stayed in that budget. Most of the programs that I have run through the village have been without using any Sauk Village money for the taxpayers. Those have all been done by fundraising, fees for different things like we sold candy for the basketball program. We have a line dancing that brings money in. We have pop machine over there that brings money in. So we keep these finances in the Parks and Recs, and I keep this in balance and within those budgets. There are obviously things you can't control, like cost of electricity, the cost of the heat, the building over there. Those are the kind of things that we budget for, and I do make my best effort to stay in those budgets. So that's my budgeting experience. I've also done that as a secretary, treasurer of bowling leagues. I was actually in charge of 3 separate bowling leagues at one time, and we managed to keep in those budgets too. We had to make those and project those. So simple things. And everybody out there, one of the things that I am proud of is keeping your checkbook. That's the easiest way, and the first budget that you learn how to do is to keep your own finances. Thank you.
Let me go all the way back to when before I became an engineer, I was the general manager for a warehousing corporation, and that was part of my job, is to make sure that we stayed within our budget. It was a multi-million-dollar corporation in the city of Chicago, 2425 South Halsted. After that, as far as getting involved in budgets, I've got involved in the budgets that we've had here since 2006. I was on the board then, and involved in those budgets, and at that time, we tried to do the best we can. We've had, back and forth, we talked and discussed it. As far as me being trustee, as was stated before, I'm one vote, but when I did give my input in each and every budget that was presented to us. As far as experience, you said experience as far as your money, or as far as how to find, in other words, how to spend your money, or how to budget your own money? Is that what you're asking? Okay, well that's the experience. I am retired now. I've been retired since October. I'm on a fixed income, but those are the 2 real major things in my life that I did as far as with income. Was with the warehousing corporation, and the second thing was involved in the village budget.
Thank you very much. Now we come to closing. Because we still have time left, I believe we can allow 2 minutes for your closing. Derek, you're on.
I thought you were going in order, but anyway. I just wanted to tell everyone here and to the Fun Club, thank you very much for having this forum. It's an informational forum. that people can a lot of people came in already with their minds made up, but you did get a chance to hear what the other candidates had to say, which is a good thing. It always is. I'm not saying that you changed your mind or that you will change your mind, but you can see what's out there. That's why it is a very informal, formal form. I just wanted to tell everyone that I have been trustee since 2006. As I stated before, I am who I am. If you're looking for someone that has your best interest, that's dedication, that is there for you, because I am a taxpayer like the rest of you guys out here. My taxes happen to be a little bit higher. So therefore, I am going to be a little bit more interested in where my dollar is going. So, the only thing I can tell you is I'm very passionate about that, because that is my dollar. I am on a fixed income. I have to make sure. And that's one of the things that as a trustee that you're in charge of. You're in charge of the village's money. The mayor has no say, so all he does is entertain a motion that is given by the different trustees. You watch the money, you watch the budget. You vote it up or down. If you have a problem with it, that's when you have questions, and you can research it. When you voted in a trustee, you want someone, I feel, that's going to move the village in a way where the spending is not frivolous. We, and also the information, to make sure the information is correct. I will do that, have done that since 2006, and will continue to do that. Even though there's opposition, even though there are people may say things, I believe in this village, and I believe in making it move forward, and it will. Make no mistake, it will move forward with or without us. Thank you.
John? We can reverse order.
Okay. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who came out and to the Fun Club for sponsoring this. I was given the challenge of being over Parks and Recs, and this is a challenge, and I think I've done a good job. I think that I lived in this village, and I supported this village. These are important things for us all. We need to work as a team, to be together, and to move forward this village. We don't want to drop the ball. We've got to start going. So we want to continue with that and continue to do the new projects that we have going, and the lights and other things. We have other projects that are coming forward that we need to support your trustees here, and we are doing the best job that we can. We are looking forward to continuing that job, at least I am, in Parks and Recs, to do more things for our children, to do more things for the residents of our town, to be a positive example for everybody in this town. That is one of my goals. I think we can continue to do that. We bring forward new projects, new ideas. We try to keep without spending any additional money, and keep things as low price as we can. We continue to do the basketball programs, starting baseball programs. We're trying to do bike rodeos. There is a lot going on with Parks and Recs, and I need help sometimes, and I look forward to the people of Sauk Village who can step forward and volunteer to help me to make these goals a reality. The idea of having somebody come into the community center once or twice a month during a month to show kids how to do things, or show people how to do things, that's a wonderful project that I have working on. And all I can say to you is, on April 7th, please vote for John Posse. Thank you.
Cecil?
First of all, I want to thank the Sauk Village residents for coming out this afternoon, this afternoon. Thank you to the Fun Club for sponsoring this event. It has not been fun for 2 hours to sit here. But I think and hope that you got a chance to hear something that will cause you to think for a couple of minutes. And that's all I want you to do. I want you to think for a couple of minutes what's in my best interest. And this is you talking. What's in your best interest amongst the people that you see that are going to be vying for the position of trustee of Sauk Village. My only thing is I want to be your advocate. I want to be the advocate for all Sauk Village residents. And I don't care what side of town you live on. I don't care how much your home costs. None of that matters to me. If you live in Sauk Village, I want to be your advocate. I want to be your mouthpiece. Tell me what your concerns are and let me move it up the ladder. You don't have to carry it. Let me move it up the ladder. And I think that being your advocate has to be an advantage. Because guess what? As a trustee, I'm on the inside. You're still on the outside. As a trustee, I'm on the inside. So let me carry the load for you. Let me advocate for you. And let's try to figure out what's best for Saukville in the long run. Short runs are fine, and we can do that. Let's talk about the long run. And one closing statement is that if you don't ask the question, the answer is always no. So ask the question. Thank you very much.
Gary?
Well, it seems like I get the end stick here. First off, I'd like to thank all the residents and non-residents who showed up. The Fun Club for putting this on, and I have to agree with Cecil, it's not fun sitting up here for 2 hours. It's hot. First of all, I think the village, I myself would strive to bring in the pride and progress to the village. I think that we have the opportunity to move forward. I think if the community is a community and works together, it'll benefit everybody. I would be there day or night, and I answer to the people, not myself. I'm open to any conversation. I won't get into an argument over petty things. I'm not going to be perfect. I've flawed before, and everybody knows. But I feel that I can give my all to this village and move this village forward. I've been here 27 years. I intend to die here. Don't intend to be buried here, but I intend to die here. So I think it's a possibility. People need to look at everything they've seen today and at other events. I think all the candidates bring something to the table that this village needs, and therefore we all need to be educated at what we want and who we think can best achieve that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do want to thank the public for attending. And I do want to let you know that I'm sure the trustees are going to be back there. We have refreshments in the back. So you're welcome to enjoy the refreshment there and ask them any questions. Steve and I want to thank you for it. I want to thank the resident who provided us with the questions. I know we couldn't ask all of them, but we do appreciate it. The Fun Club appreciates providing this information every 2 years. So if you have any questions, be sure you ask the candidates. And there are literature on events in the village on the back table and also in the lobby. So thank you very much. Appreciate it if you wouldn't bring any food in here. Thank you.
Hello, Sharon. How are you?